I didn't hear wedding bells. I heard my phone vibrate. One notification. One photo. And in that moment, I realized my daughter had gotten married. Without telling me. I stared at the screen. My hands went cold. There she was. White dress. Bright smile. A ring on her finger. And a caption that said, "Best day of my life." I whispered. When did I stop being part of it? My name is Daniel Harper. I'm not rich. Not powerful. Just a father who worked double shifts. So his daughter could dream bigger than I ever did. I bought her that house when she turned 25. A small place. Safe. Close to me. I thought it meant family. I was wrong. That house wasn't just wood and walls. It was late-night homework at the kitchen table. Birthday candles. Broken hearts I helped fix. I believed love lived there. But love had quietly packed its bags. I scrolled. Another picture. Her new husband. His hand on her waist. And suddenly I understood. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. A choice that didn't include me. I didn't cry. I felt something worse. Replacement. Like I had been edited out of my own life. That night, I opened the old house documents. And I asked myself one question. If I was never invited to her new life, why was I still holding on to her old one? The house was quiet that night. Too quiet. No footsteps. No laughter. No daughter calling my name from the other room. Just the hum of the refrigerator. And the sound of my own breathing. I waited. For a text. A call. Anything. Maybe she'd say, "Dad, I wanted to tell you in person." But my phone stayed dark. That hurt more than the photos. I kept asking myself. Did I fail her? Was I too strict? Too distant? Too proud? Or was I just, no longer needed? Parents don't talk about this fear. The fear of becoming optional. The next morning, I drove to her house. I still had a key. The door opened easily. Too easily. Inside, everything felt staged. Boxes half-packed. Closet empty. Walls bare where photos used to hang. She had already moved on. Without a goodbye. On the counter sat one frame. A photo of us. From years ago. She was 12. Missing teeth. Laughing. On the back, written in her handwriting. "Thank you for everything." Past tense. That's when anger finally arrived. Not loud. Not explosive. Cold. Quiet. Dangerous. I didn't feel like a father anymore. I felt like a bank account that had served its purpose. I drove straight to the realtor's office. Sat down. And said the words out loud for the first time. "I want to sell the house." The agent blinked. "Is everything okay with your daughter?" I smiled. A tired smile. She already has a new life. That night, after signing the papers, I couldn't sleep. What if I was making a mistake? What if this was just pain talking? But pride is loud when it's wounded. And silence had already made the decision for me. At 2:14 a.m., my phone buzzed. Her name. One message. "Dad, we need to talk." I stared at it. My finger hovered over the screen. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know if answering would heal us. Or break us forever. The house was already listed. The decision already made. But the truth? It was just beginning to surface. I didn't reply right away. I let the message sit there. Unread. Heavy. Because once I opened it, there would be no going back to ignorance. The next morning, I finally called her. She answered on the first ring. "Dad," she said softly. That one word. It cracked something in me. She didn't sound happy. She sounded exhausted. "I didn't tell you because I was scared," she said. "Scared of what?" I asked. There was a long pause. "Of disappointing you." She told me how she met him. How she fell in love slowly. Carefully. And how every time she wanted to tell me. She remembered the way I looked at her mother. When she made choices without asking. "You don't yell," she said. "But your silence feels worse." That hurt more than anger ever could. "It wasn't a big wedding," she whispered. "No white aisle. No crowd. Just a courthouse. 2 friends. A borrowed bouquet. I wanted you there," she said. "I just didn't know how to invite you." Then she said something I wasn't ready for. "I was planning to give the house back to you." I froze. "What?" "I never saw it as mine," she continued. "It was your sacrifice. Your dream." She paused. "I was going to tell you after the wedding. The house wasn't abandonment. It was respect. All that anger. All that pride. Built on an assumption. I had sold the house. Before hearing the truth. There's something else," she said carefully. "The buyer." My chest tightened. "Yes. He's my husband's uncle." Silence swallowed the call. "So you knew?" I asked. "No," she said quickly. "We found out this morning." Her voice broke. "Dad, please tell me you haven't signed everything." I looked at the contract on my table. Signed. Final. For the first time, I understood. This wasn't betrayal. This was 2 people loving each other. Without knowing how to say it out loud. Pride didn't protect us. It separated us. "I need to see you," she said. "Please." I closed my eyes. Because I knew. The next conversation wouldn't be about a house. It would decide. Whether I stayed her father. Or became just a story she tells someone else. We met at the house. The same driveway where I taught her to ride a bike. The same steps where she cried after her first heartbreak. Now, she stood there as a wife. And I stood there as a father. Who didn't know his place anymore. She looked older. Not because of marriage. Because of distance. "Hi, Dad," she said. I nodded. That was all I could manage. "I never meant to hurt you," she said quickly. "I just didn't know how to be brave with you." I finally spoke. "I thought I was protecting you," I said. "But maybe I was protecting myself." Her eyes filled with tears. A black SUV pulled up. The buyer stepped out. Calm. Polite. And immediately uncomfortable. "I didn't know," he said. "About the family connection. No one did. That's what made it tragic. The contract was legal. Final. But the buyer looked at us and said something unexpected. If you want the house back, I'll step away. Everything stopped. This was it. The moment. I looked at the house. Then at my daughter. Then at her husband standing quietly behind her. And I realized. This wasn't about property. It was about control. And love doesn't survive control. No, I said slowly. Everyone looked at me. She needs to build something new, I continued. So do I. My daughter broke down. She hugged me like she used to. Tight. Real. Weeks later, we had dinner. Not perfect. Not magical. But honest. She didn't ask permission anymore. I didn't expect it. We learned to speak. Instead of assume. Love isn't proven by what you give. It's proven by what you're willing to let go of. I thought selling her house would teach her a lesson. But in the end, it taught me how to be her father again.